Welcome to Roseflower Radio, the show that goes behind the scenes of your favorite independent artists and creatives. I'm your co-host, Micah Wilson.
And I'm your co-host, Finlay Matthias. On the show today, we have an artist, producer, songwriter, live sound engineer, and so much more. But we will get into that. From the sunny state of California, please welcome Lorenzo Wood.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo,
Clap,
woo,
clap,
woo.
clap, clap.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight.
LA, I see you. Woo! What up, dude?
Dude, lots, really.
Lots.
Kind of been just like weaving through all the different roles, like doing live sound, like making music, writing, so much stuff. I can't even think of all of it, but we're just figuring stuff out, you know?
Yeah, dude.
I'm going on tour next month, which is
Shut up.
It's almost September, so later this month, basically.
Like what time? Like
The
September?
21st, and then getting back on like October 19th, something like that.
Nice. With who?
It's with this Australian band called Mild Life.
Okay.
It's kind of like, you know, Krungbin. It's like super chill, kind of
Ani's
cameraman.
having a
Cameraman,
great
no.
time.
I think they opened for them a couple times or something. They also opened for Parcels.
Love parcels.
It's like chill indie rock jazz kind of vibes. I'm mixing front of house and monitors for them.
Dude, that's sick.
Should be really cool. We're going Dominican Republic and then all over the US and then a festival in Mexico.
Nice.
Holy cow.
First tour should be crazy.
Yeah, so
but
that
also
kind of
really chill.
That kind of brings me into my first thing I wanted to talk about, which you kind of mentioned all of the different roles. Because I was trying to figure it out before we started this for that intro, and I kind of gave up because the list was too long. Was there anything I skipped you feel like you want to add to your resume real quick?
So mixing engineer, I would say like that's a big part of stuff like studio and live stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gear nerd.
Yeah.
I love like making cables, like making fancy things, like anything involving equipment, production, live sound. I sing, you know, I go in and out of phases of like actually using the vocals and not, but I think that's a general thing. And I like doing other fun things.
Yeah.
So where'd you get started when it came to like...
Yeah, what did you do first?
Yeah.
First was drums when I took like 1 or 2 weeks of violin lessons when I was like 4. And then it was like every time I went to the like the music teaching space or whatever, I would just like wait till lesson was over and then go to the other room to the drum kit.
And you just mess around.
So basically like I took a couple weeks of that and then switched to drums.
Dude, that
creepy. Was where I started.
I had the exact same like start. I played violin for a bit. Fun fact though, you want to know the reason why I stopped playing violin?
Let's hear it.
I had this teacher named Nancy. Shout out to Nancy. Goat, right? Nancy randomly just like, I would always go over to her house for like doing violin practice, whatever. And then randomly she just like, I walked up to the door, like little like 8-year-old me walked up to the door to have my lesson. And she, like some old dude, just answered it. She just moved and didn't tell me. So that was the end of my violin career right there. Just a quick sudden.
What could have been?
I know, bro.
What could have been? And where was that you started? Where you were living at the time?
That was up in Alameda, like right next to Oakland, San Francisco.
There you go.
Shout out.
Are you a Raiders fan or 49ers fan?
Honestly, neither. I'm like too much into the music that I can't really keep up with sports.
Dang, bro. That's that passion. That's that commitment.
He's here for the halftime show.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
He's cheering for the halftime show.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, like, I mean, did you play sports at all, like, growing up or anything?
I did soccer or football.
Football.
You know?
Yeah, you have to correct with this UK dude over here.
Oh, no.
Did that until I was, like, 12 or something, and then realized, like, I should be spending my time doing other things.
Music, yeah.
So then when did you go from being, like, the player to being on the other side of the glass, so to speak, being, like, a engineer starting to produce for other people? Mm-hmm. Like, when did you feel like you started to make that transition?
That's a good question. I mean, like, I kind of, like... when I was young, I did like a lot of like garage band and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like worked on that. Didn't really have any like actual purpose of things, and then started performing. And then I guess I just started working with other people, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
I had the basement of my parents' house converted into a studio, obviously,
That's
as
sick.
you do. And I would just have like random people over, and eventually I started getting paid, and I feel like that was kind of the start of like doing stuff for other people.
For sure.
But
That's super
it grew
cool.
from there, yeah.
I feel like there's a thing, and I want you to talk about this because I feel like that there's a big level of like disconnect in between like what a songwriter is and then like verse. Like people who are not familiar with the industry don't really know what the difference between an engineer is and a producer. And I think the fact that you're very multifaceted in that is super cool. So like if you were to describe like base level terms, like what do you think like separates you from just being a producer in this like today or being an engineer tomorrow or an instrumentalist the next day? What are some of the advantages when it comes to like being that multifaceted in so many different like areas, you know?
You mean like why is it useful for me to be able to do different things?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's just like you get so many more gigs when you can do different
everything.
things. So like if I like only produced, I didn't do like live sound, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity to like go on tour and stuff.
Yeah.
So like in that sense, like being able to do lots of different things, it just means you can do more things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
So, and also like if I do one thing for too long, I'll just get tired of it.
Yeah. And you have to
and
switch.
then it's not fun. Yeah. So like being able to switch to different things, like it's great. Like I don't really have to deal with as much burnout when like I can just do a different thing. Like I was
Interesting.
like, what was it? About a year ago, maybe a bit more. I was just so tired of music, and I like shot a music video. I like just dove into that kind of stuff, and it's great. You know,
Yeah, we know all about that.
Yeah.
We know all about music videos over here.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
kind of leads me to a question I had. So you record people in the studio and do engineering, and then you do the live engineering at on location, wherever it may be. Do you feel like there are different challenges that you are faced when you're in the studio and the mic isn't working, the cable isn't working, as opposed to when you're on location with like a crowd there and the mic isn't working or the cable isn't working? You're like, it's a different feeling, it's a different challenge.
So
you know?
different.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're in the studio, something stops working, it's just like, oh, hold up, let me fix this. And it's more thinking like, okay, hopefully they don't think I'm a dumbass.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
I can fix it. But like when it's live, like I had one time in the middle of like a pretty big show, I was like doing all the sound. I was like in charge of it and stuff. The like stage box, which connects all the mics to the mixing console.
Yeah.
One of the dudes, it was like a rap group. He like jumped on the cable that was connecting everything to the mixing
no.
console.
Snake?
Yeah, basically it was like an Ethercon
Okay, yeah.
cable.
Yeah.
And it basically fell out.
Oh,
The entire show, like everything, all the audio cut out because that's where the speakers were connected. That's where the microphones were connected.
Oh,
that was everything.
No.
And so basically everything cut out. I was like, fuck, okay, what do I do? And so I ran up from front of house, which was like stage, crowd.
How
and
many
then-
people were there roughly?
I don't know. Maybe like 600? I feel like it was something like that.
Okay. Indoor or
That's
outdoor?
still
Well, no, wait, maybe it was less. It was
Regardless, give or
think
take
it
600.
was like
yeah.
a good amount of people.
Yeah.
It was like some free show that Live to Create and
Okay,
29th
yeah.
Street Productions did with AG Club
Yeah.
and who else was there? A couple other like TikTok artists. And yeah, so I basically had to just run to stage like, fuck, what is happening? And I figured out it was the stage box, went over there and just fiddled with it until it eventually like, it was something like the connector, like the housing snapped in half or something.
Oh, man.
But the stuff that actually connects to the port was still
Fine. Like it was
fine.
chilling.
So I just had to like shimmy it and get it, and it finally worked.
It's
and,
like when your phone charger only works at a specific angle.
Yeah, you gotta
just
like
gotta,
do the crazy.
Basically.
and do it
yeah.
work, and then just
Yeah.
and
So
hope it stays.
eventually, like I was really freaking out because this is like the main cable the whole show runs off of. If it actually got broken, I would be fucked.
Yeah,
right?
you're
Yeah.
screwed.
But luckily it was fine. I was able to plug it in, and like everyone like cheered. Like I was like the hero. Like all I did was plug a cable back in, but
Yeah.
it
You
was
plugged in the cable though.
Yeah, dude.
the cable. Yeah. So
How long was it like out for, would you say?
maybe like, maybe 3 minutes, something like that.
That's
that
crazy,
seems about
though.
right.
And that's cool. It's AG Club. I'm actually pretty familiar with them. And
Oh, cool.
They're pretty sick.
That's great. Yeah,
I like
it
a
was
lot of the music.
super high energy show, like
Yeah.
really fun. But yeah,
I mean, homies be jumping on cables,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, they're jumping on those cables, dude.
Man.
So yeah, you said like, so how did you meet? Like, you developed all these skills, and then you just said without it, you wouldn't have been able to go on tour. So like, how did you kind of meet the people who are now on tour with you? What's the story here?
yeah.
You
So
know?
that was all through this guy Johnny May, who's one of the production majors at USC.
Shout out Johnny.
I'm
May.
in
Shout out Johnny May,
Shout
baby.
out Johnny May. I go to USC. I'm in the production program. And one of the older guys in the program, he went on tour with some of his buddies and some what would I call him? Like a kind of touring company, MD shop, where they like put together artists with like tech and bands and kind of put together shows, get them on the road. So this guy Johnny, he was playing keys with a couple artists working with that company, and they were looking for audio engineers, and he recommended me. So
That's awesome.
shout out to Johnny. Thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
shout out fucking
Yeah.
Johnny,
So
bro.
I have a question specifically
Yeah.
related to college. Is like a lot of, I just know this from personal experience as well as a lot of friends, like going to college for music is something that sometimes parents aren't a big fan of, and or, you know, like relatives or, you know, whoever, fill in the blank. For you, if you don't mind sharing, like, how was that for you with like your family or like parents? Were they very supportive? Were they against it? Or like, what was that for you?
I totally lucked out. Like my parents have been very supportive.
That's
of,
awesome.
Like, I mean, they've seen my journey and they know that I'm very driven and
Yeah.
like I'm gonna do all it takes to like make it work.
Yeah.
But they were also like, they would have supported me if I didn't want to go to college and stuff. They really like, they helped me figure out what was best for me.
That's
and,
awesome.
Like, so I lucked out. That worked out really well for me.
And then also, we were kind of talking before about going to college at a music college as opposed to going to college at a college that has a music program. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But then also USC has a very large music program and essentially is like it has kind of a college within a college. So like, do you feel like you're disadvantaged in any way by like...
Or advantaged.
Or advantaged, yeah, by like not going to a music college, but instead going to an institution within a larger college.
Sure. I mean, I think in my experience, like USC has kind of had the best of both worlds because it is
That's
like
awesome.
it's a big college. It's like a normal college that like there's a sports team if you like that.
There's a
like,
frat, you know.
There's frats. There's
Yeah.
kind of everything you want from a big college, but also the music school is really good, and there's like they have plenty of resources and
That's sick.
a great music program, so you still get that like it is a music school.
Mhm.
And it's like one of the, I don't know what the how you categorize it, but it's like one of the top
It's
music
a top,
schools
yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
an elite. You could call it an elite music college.
Did you have to do anything to get in?
It was some sort of like pre-screen process where I submitted videos and then like probably like a resume and stuff, and
Yeah.
then an audition. And I auditioned for the songwriting program and the production program, and they chose me for production. I don't know if I didn't get into songwriting or if they just like decided to put
yeah.
me in production.
They
I'm not sure.
flipped the coin on
Yeah,
it.
they're like, I don't know about his songwriting. Move him over to or whatever. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
But yeah, it's great, and it's also like it's a big school. I get big school vibes, and also like there's a music school which is smaller, and then there's like my program which is even smaller.
Yeah,
So it's like you kind of
you get the best of both worlds in that regard.
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people say that the best thing about going to college just in general is the community that you build, the people that you
100%.
meet. Do you feel like, I assume going to USC Music College, you've met some people who like inspire you or like feel driven? Do you feel like the community you've been able to build around you since going to college and like moving to LA in general is like moving you forward?
Yeah, I mean, like back in the Bay Area, I knew no musicians. I basically didn't know anyone I could look up to or learn from. Like there were a couple people that I would work with, like, but there weren't like people who were as driven as all the other like music students. They were all in the same boat as you. Like we're just trying to figure it out and make it in the music industry, you know? So like it definitely has been a huge difference, and like that's what makes it worth it, I feel like.
Yeah, do you live with all people in your program?
Yeah, I live like with all people in
Do you live
production.
in a dorm?
No, I live in a house like off campus. Yeah,
Let's go.
That's the way to go.
Houses,
I actually
baby.
went straight to a house freshman semester.
Wow.
Like first semester
Oh,
because COVID.
Yeah, joining
Nice.
COVID. How did that feel?
It was, I mean, I didn't really have anything to compare
general.
it to.
That was a very
you know?
therapy question. And how did that make you feel? How has COVID affected you?
How did it feel to enter college while the world crashed and burned around you?
It was cool, but you know, I liked watching all the buildings fall and all the people dying. You know,
campus.
But
That's funny.
If it weren't for COVID, I wouldn't have like gotten into a house for semester.
Yeah, there you go.
So
That's tight.
But I did miss the whole like dorm experience or whatever.
You don't.
But yeah, so I'm living with like 2 vocal performance majors, or one like songwriting performance, 1 vocal performance, and then another production major.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
I was gonna say, I want to know if you have it off the top of your head. If not, it's cool. What's like have you worked with anyone? Could you name drop someone? Like, cause sorry, I don't know if I should do this, but you know, you said AG Club. I'm very familiar with AG Club. I love a lot of their music. I know you're saying you're going on tour with a bunch of people. What's like top celebrity / person you've worked with before that you think is like biggest honor in your regard, or like someone you hold very highly in your mind?
I haven't really worked with like that many like really successful big artists yet.
Yeah.
Slam on everyone you've worked with. Sending it to everyone you've ever worked with.
Well, I realized that just kind of like set him up for failure asking
I
that
haven't
question.
worked with anyone that doesn't suck. You know?
There you go.
Yeah, I really haven't worked with a ton of big artists. I recently like mixed a rehearsal for Claire Rosencrantz, who's like
Okay.
fairly like big compared to a lot of the people I've worked with. That was cool because like a lot of my friends really like her music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't done a ton of big artists yet, but yeah,
So
this is
then-
the key word.
So follow up. If like, let's say tomorrow, blank hits you up in the DMs and is like, "Yo, I need you to do this for me." You know, who would be like the biggest, like the best thing you could ever, like best person you could ever work with,
That was a
alive
good
or dead?
question.
I'm making it even harder.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
John Wilkes Booth.
How can I top that? All right, I need a sec. Is the podcast like live or will it be edited?
No, we'll be edited. Yeah.
Okay, so I can take a sec to think and it won't like bore people.
No, we're still gonna leave it in though.
Oh yeah, we're
Okay.
Just because you asked, we're
Okay.
now gonna leave this
It's now
all
gonna
in.
stay. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so let's just all take like a 1-minute breather. Everyone at home, take deep breaths, you know? Okay. See, my memory is quite bad, so this will take a sec. What artists exist?
Yeah,
Can you go down the list? Go down the list.
Akon. Okay.
Let's just.
Whoa! What the hell? What the? I wasn't ready for just heat.
We gotta do a little acapella jam, you know?
I was troubleshoot. 1, 2, 3.
Wait,
It's
yeah, okay, you got it much better than me.
I laughed. I'm sorry. Okay.
You should be.
Can't express emotions
All right,
here.
ready?
Are we? Wait. Are we?
Wait.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Are we
Are
taking?
you doing the song?
Are we
or-
going back into the podcast?
We're
or
doing
are
the
we,
song.
Okay,
Is this
okay.
in the video or am I cutting this out?
course. It depends how well we do.
Oh shit.
All right.
Wait, do we want to do really well or really badly? What makes it in the podcast?
Wait, who's gonna be Snoop? Can I be Snoop?
Go for it.
Okay, then you do the woo.
I can-
You
yeah.
do the beatboxing.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try and get at you. Yeah, that's getting cut out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going in. We failed.
No,
Have
but
that be the intro.
Well, you said instead of our normal intro music.
well, we need to. Okay, let's talk about it later.
All right. Well,
Well, I want to go back into this so that way it's a
Yes.
little fluid if we do.
do you have your artist yet?
Yeah.
You can just go back in.
I do not. It's not Snoop Dogg. Sorry. Oh yeah, I was thinking. What about like one of those games? It might be like a TikTok filter where like you like swipe right if you like the or no you pick between two
Oh,
celebrities.
and then it gives you the
And then
and
next
then it
it
gives
says-
you next, and you have to pick between those two.
Okay. You pick one.
Dua Lipa.
And
Well, yeah,
Hans Zimmerman.
Yeah, we're going to Dua Lipa.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
I mean, there's like, are we talking some random dude named Hans Zimmerman, or do we want to autocorrect that?
Yeah, can we get a live autocorrect on that, please?
My bad.
You can just punch in
I got
after
scared,
the
bro.
fact and just like say man, you know.
I got scared, bro. I just like I don't know. Anyways.
Cut out the man. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hans Zimmer.
All right, Dua Lipa or Hans Zimmer?
Definitely Dua Lipa.
Okay.
Sorry, Hans Zimmer.
Man.
Man.
I don't know why I said that.
Sorry, Hans Zimmer, man.
You know what it was? I just realized. There was a kid in high school named Hans Zimmerman that I knew. And he wore,
right.
you know, like
Shout out Hans Zimmerman.
you know the guys at like the at the mall, or like the like shirts the hoodies at the mall that are like all like stars and like super weird looking. Like imagine like middle school like bright neon, like really annoying hoodie colors. That's all he would
Okay.
wear.
Nice.
Anyway,
Dua
okay.
Lipa, Hans Zimmer.
Dua Lipa. I'm trying to do my weird and do a feature.
Okay, so then Jack Harlow.
I feel like my skills would be like better suited for like working with Dua Lipa, just because I'm a little bit more in the pop side. Like,
Bruno
I could-
Mars.
dude.
Fuck, dude.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
I'm gonna have to go with. Oh well.
I
No, I
stumped
feel
him.
like I would
Okay,
be
but-
so intimidated working with Bruno. You know what I mean?
Notice though he did say Bruno Mars, not Silk Sonic. So
I ain't playing no
Hmm.
games.
I feel like I would be even like
Even more
They would just
scary?
be able to take over and do way better than me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of anyone, but that's
Well,
cool.
Yeah, we
Dua
can. I
Lipa,
have.
Yeah, that's.
I have a
Definitely.
question.
Yeah.
Over the pandemic, or you did like a full house show, basically. Then you, or not over the pandemic, but you set up and you built a stage,
What?
created like an entire sound system, marketed it. I saw all of the posters and everything. You want to tell us a little bit about like that event?
I'm already exhausted thinking about it. It was so much work. I mean, mostly a lot of it was just because I go way overboard with everything, and it's like
Yeah.
I have to have like a
Yeah, you're one to talk. Same.
I like you guys. This is great. But like I needed to have like a stadium level technology,
Yeah.
kind of like full like sound setup, like as perfect as we could have it be. Because like I mean like I'm definitely known most. I would say I'm known most for like doing sound in like
Yeah.
the USC community where the show was, and so like I had to make sure the sound was like top notch, right?
Yeah.
And then I did like like full playback for everything. I did
Oh
like
man.
I had auto-tune, like everything synced to the songs. Like we had a time-coded lighting. Like so we spent it was
Was that in Pro Tools or was that with
so we
what's
did
it called? What's the
Pro
company?
Q.
Pro Fab Filter?
No, wait,
we probably did
not
use
Q,
Fab
not
Filter
Pro
on it.
Q. Wait. QLab. That's what
It
I'm
was.
thinking
It
of.
wasn't with QLab, but I
That's what
am
that's
interested
what I
in
was thinking
QLab.
of, Yeah.
We did use ProQ in the
What?
Ableton, I'm sure.
I was right. I
Yeah.
wasn't wrong. That QLab was what I was thinking of.
But I had like a proper lighting designer. Shout out Jay Smolansky.
Let's go.
It was mostly like us two from the start working on the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I spent so much money on. I did not come out in the green.
Oh, no.
Very much in the red.
Were you close?
No, not at all. Because like I didn't want to like rent lights because I would rather like
Just
own
have
them so we
lights.
have more time
Yeah.
to spend
Yeah.
with them and practice them and then have them afterwards. So I bought all the lights and of course we wanted to do like a proper setup. We got like
Oh man.
backlight, front light, side lights, and then like we had the back wall behind the stage. We had it be white, and we had these lights that like illuminated that wall. So there was like those lights also.
Yeah, you're talking lights on lights on lights, and I
Oh,
know
yeah.
stage lights are
Yeah.
not cheap.
They're not cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
we went for the cheapest ones, right?
even
The
still,
Amazon,
yeah.
And then we had these lights that kind of were like laser beam kind of vibes,
Nice.
and then like we got a hazer and stuff like that. But it was me paying for everything, and then Jace was like making it actually work, right?
Yeah.
Doing all the stuff that made the light.
And
light.
who was the show for?
So it was me, and then a band, and then a bunch of like guest artists, like so
Gotcha.
people I had produced songs for, or like
But it was like your show.
it
sort
was
of
it was
thing.
called Lorenzo and Friends.
Oh, sick.
And then I like put like a bunch of other people's names on the poster, like all the guest artists.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, crazy lighting. We spent so much time setting it up, like drilling holes into the
Yeah.
walls to like mount the lights, building a stage. Shout out Frank Lookinland.
Let's go, Frank.
We made the stage. And this was all in my living room.
Wow.
So we like cleared everything out of the living room. I think we might be filling in the holes this week, actually.
All the holes you left.
Yeah, basically.
Understandable.
Yeah, so I definitely had a good situation for that, so I was able to
Yeah.
work with
Did
it.
you know all of the artists beforehand, or did you reach out to people
was
specifically
all-
to play for the show?
It was all people that I had worked with before. So
Okay.
all the
That's sick.
songs were like, yeah, so a lot of them were like songs that I co-wrote with people,
Mhm.
and maybe I had someone sing on a track that I made. Some of them, like, I vocal produced this one song and mixed it for Alex Oliva and Jillian Batt.
Shout out.
Shout out, that song's
Let's go.
called You and I. It's kind
Come
of
on.
fire. I would recommend it. We did that one. Another song I produced, like this song called For You by Aiden Black. I produced
Sick.
and mixed recently. Now I feel like I have to shout out every single song now that I've done those two.
Every single song you have ever worked on,
Well-
top to bottom, A to Z, go.
Okay, we started. What did I start with? Trying to think of like the first song I ever wrote.
No, but I
don't know.
mean,
Yeah.
I will say it's awesome how I think it's so cool that you like one thing that I think that a lot of like producers and like kind of people who are behind the scenes don't get is like Blank and Friends. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like the engineer as well as the producer and the songwriter and stuff. And yes, you have your own stuff as well there too. But it's really cool that you could encapsulate that and turn that into like something to benefit you. You know, I think that that's super cool. I wanted to ask, what DAW do you use?
So,
What's the main?
well, okay, for producing, Logic.
Okay.
I'm
Logic.
like a huge not Logic nerd. I'm into all the key commands.
Yeah.
I've dived quite deep. I'm
Yeah.
like in contact with one of the dudes on the Logic team.
No way.
So like I send him feedback and stuff. It's
no
great.
way.
If you do have suggestions for feature updates, send them to me.
Okay, I got a
Um,
couple.
Bro, okay,
Feel
here we
free,
go.
yeah.
The vocal comping, I hate with a burning passion.
Did you start in Pro Tools?
Yes.
Okay, well, have
Okay,
you
well,
tried
you're
track
stupid, so-
alternatives instead of take folders?
Yes.
Do I look like I know what that means?
So we don't even need to do an update. All you have to do is like turn off take folders
You just
and
gotta
then
be
switch
smarter,
it to
bro.
Yeah, I gotta update my brain real quick.
Logic's
software
fine.
update.
Maybe you just need more logic up there. You know what I'm saying?
You just switch one of the settings from instead of like overlapping audio regions create take folders, you have them create well, you have them either do nothing and do it manually, or have them create track alternatives.
Interesting.
And then it's basically playlists. Track
Okay,
alternatives are the equivalent to playlists, and they're great. I think you can do all the things you can do with playlists, basically.
Okay.
Except it's nicer and fewer steps as
Yeah.
Logic does things.
So you said so Logic is main.
Yeah,
And
Logic
then-
for producing. Anything live, I'll use Ableton, because I can't have my dog crashing on me.
Yeah.
I mean, Logic is great. I love Logic, except I know that it's gonna crash multiple times per
Yeah.
day. You know, which is okay because all the other things I love so much that like.
You're willing
I'm
to
fine
look
with
past it. bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I love using Ableton because it's fast and it like
Yeah.
it does its job. You
That's
know?
right.
Yeah.
That is right.
But
I'm about to get jumped.
Yeah.
It's about that.
Pro Tools, this guy over here. No, I was kidding.
yo,
No, go on. Ask your next question. Go. Go.
I don't. Whoa. I feel scared.
and what are you in Logic? It seemed.
I'm
Or no?
a
He's an
Ableton fella.
Ableton.
Cool. Respect.
Like a
respect.
like a OG, like a real pimp.
I'm
Real
gonna-
pimps
I'm
use
gonna-
Ableton.
Yeah.
I want to.
I think real pimps. Nah, real pimps is Reaper, bro. That's where all the. That's where all
yeah.
the cool
When you
kids
want to
are at,
flex how
bro.
much money you have, use Reaper. Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
How much is Reaper?
Free.
Oh. I
Or GarageBand.
This
Oh, that's when you know they're really stunting, bro. When they
real
got their
motherfuckers use
GarageBand.
Audacity though.
True. If you can produce a song in Audacity, like so much respect to you, honestly.
We kind of mentioned a little bit. You do have your own music, your own
Yeah.
artistry. So your newest song is called "Lonely Nights."
No.
Wrong. Incorrect. Do more research, stupid.
Fuck. So your newest song was called "Lonely Nights."
He's like, is it? I don't know.
Are you sure? Now he's gonna
I can't remember.
My favorite
No.
song from yours was "Still Need Love" because of all the promo stuff you did for that
Oh
one.
yeah, that was fun.
With all of the green screening and like the blue. That was so fucking cool. Micah,
Thanks,
who
dude.
is uncultured and hasn't seen that, you want to talk him through what it is I'm talking about?
Are you talking the music video?
Yeah, like the
thing
music
I did?
video thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
on the
so-
blue.
The blue.
Like, or like you did it on the green screen and then like you were wearing the blue suit
Oh,
and shit.
okay. So I did a couple of these things where I like took a photo and then like cut out the background and then just like I guess it's probably just in Photoshop like put a whole like I did like a whole blue background and like made it look like it was an actual place instead of just
Yeah.
like blue, and then I like made like shadows on my feet and stuff, so it looked like I was in just this like blue
Void or
room,
something?
and I
Yeah,
had a
like,
sax.
always- yeah.
And it was, I guess it was my like website photo for a while, and maybe my profile photo too or something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then so how'd you? I wanted to ask. There is one song of yours that has a significant amount of streams.
Yeah.
Which one is that again?
I think that's
This
Still Need
one.
Love. Yeah.
We're
yeah.
on, bro. We're on the same segue, bro.
Same
We're on
wavelength.
the same wavelength.
Yeah.
But so I was gonna ask, like, the promotion for that. Like, do you? Is there a reason specifically? Did you do anything different to that song?
Yeah. So it's an interesting story. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's interesting. Maybe it's a boring story.
It's
Who
a
knows?
super interesting story.
Yes. So like I released it. It like I didn't do anything crazy. You know, I did the basics
Basic
that
promotions,
like a
yeah.
person who's whatever 18, 17 does
Was
when they
TikTok
release a
around at
song.
this point?
Yeah.
TikTok was around, but I was not hip
Yeah.
to TikTok yet, right? It doesn't really get many streams. And then like for some I think so my dad is kind of like works as manager, like he helps out with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think he was doing a lot of Submit Hub stuff. I don't know if you've heard of it, probably.
Very familiar.
Where you submit your songs and like curators will listen to it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. This one dude from a record label in Sweden liked it, and he was like, yo, we want to do a little deal with you. It was like a one song like promotion deal where basically they took half of they take half of the money it makes on the like sound recording side, and then they just promote it a ton. Because like I wasn't really making a ton of money from it. Obviously, it didn't
Yeah.
have a ton of
Yeah.
streams, but they just like promoted the song a lot, and I got streams and half of the money, and then they got, I guess, the other half of the money.
So you
So
got
it was
3
chill.
cents, and they got the other half of the 3 cents.
Exactly, right? So that was cool. So I didn't really have to do anything crazy, but also it was like, it wasn't necessarily the best type of streams. Like, it wasn't like my target fan base. It was like a lot of random, like they had a lot of random playlists, like that would like be like a
Super
key search
niche
term or
demographics,
something.
yeah.
Like they would like do these playlists, like if you like this song, here are a bunch of songs that would sound good on it. And
Yeah.
they put like stuff like my song and other things. So like they got a bunch of streams, but it was like super random people. So
Yeah, it
you
didn't
know.
really help building like a long-term
So
career.
that's what I was
fan
gonna
base
ask.
So,
out
yeah.
of it.
I know I have many artist friends and I have many people who are sitting here trying to promote. I got really lucky with a song of mine one time and it did really well. And people come up to me like, "What'd you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I was just stupid. I just pressed buttons and like things happened." But like, honestly, like I really didn't know what I was doing.
Click button, screen go.
Yes.
Click button, stream go. Vroom.
Boom. Dude, I would be spamming that button. But like, honestly, I really had no clue what I was doing. And I've gotten a lot of emails and a bunch of things from all these random third-party people who are like, your song's the next thing. How would you, like, if I were coming into this as a brand new songwriter, artist, or, whoever, if you had any advice for the promotion side of it, like, would you recommend, like, looking into some of those third parties that take half your royalties? Or, like, in your opinion, like, what do you think the best way is to promote a song?
honestly, I haven't really had like success on that. So like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be the right person to ask. Maybe ask me in a year or two.
I will say, though, that is
yeah.
an awesome answer. The fact that you can sit there and be like, dude, I have no clue.
I really have no idea.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot. I mean, what I think is the right thing, or what I've been told, is like make a fuck ton of reels and TikToks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I haven't really done that.
Do
So I
you
don't know.
think, because I know that there's a big wave going on around TikTok and stuff about all these musicians and artists who are upset that all they have to do with their record label, they just tell them, hey, make 15 TikToks a day, whatever. Do you think like there's a shift in like, there should be a shift in the industry to where like, why is it that artists are now having to be content creators first instead of artists first? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean it's more about the number of TikToks you can make versus your song necessarily.
yeah. Do you agree with that? Like, do you think
Yeah,
that,
I mean, I'm kind of currently in an interesting state of mind where I'm just like, I need to take a step back from the whole like releasing songs and all that
Yeah.
stuff, because there are so many people releasing music
yeah.
and so many people making TikToks, and so much of it is great music. So it's like
Yeah.
I feel like although everything is really accessible, it's so competitive because anyone and their uncle
Because
can make
it's so
music,
accessible now.
right?
Yeah, totally.
So everyone does it, and also there's this mentality of, oh, I make music, I should release it. Everyone wants to do that and feels the pressure to do it. Just like I did when I was younger. I was like, I make music, I have to release it. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, when are you going to release music?
Yep.
And I don't think I was really ready to do it, but of course I felt this pressure and I did it just like everyone else is.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of music being released, so I'm kind of now just like trying to take a step back while it's so overwhelming.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Do you feel like there is, of the many roles, one specific role that in 15 years you see yourself still doing and still enjoying? Like one part of your like jobs as a moment where you're like, this is the one, like I wish I could do this more of, everything?
That is a good question. I mean, like when I think about like years down the line, I do think like going more towards like studio stuff where it's like not like, I know like touring can be intense, so I'm thinking like probably do that when I'm younger, and then when I'm later, I'll definitely do a lot more like chill stuff, like studio,
for sure.
like mixing. I love studio mixing. It's just like, it's low effort for me. It's very much like autopilot. And it's like,
That's cool.
it makes me happy doing it. I love that. And like producing, like making songs, like that is something that I really do think I'll continue to make, because I always come back to it, you know? Like even if I haven't made a song for a while, I'll have an idea and I'll make a song and it feels right to do it,
do you think potentially we've seen the end of Lorenzo Wood as a artist in and of himself, or at least for maybe the time being?
No.
He coming back.
That
Season
is
2.
my definitive answer.
Lorenzo 2.
You have not seen the end of it, yeah.
The revenge of Lorenzo.
Lorenzo 2, this time it's personal.
Whether it's in 6 months or in 10 years, like, 6 years, that's probably better.
No. Go with 10. That's cool.
Okay, 10 months or 10 years.
There you go.
Who knows? I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been making songs that I like and like could be released, but I just don't really have the capacity to like go through the TikTok hell, you know?
Yeah.
So
I've been struggling a lot with that recently. And I think a lot of artists struggle with that too. Because I just know that there's a ton of pushback between like, I don't want to make 15 TikToks a day. I want to make music, you know? And I just think it's really cool to hear that from someone who's not even like main artist is rule number 1, you know? They're doing so many other things. And I don't know. I was going to ask, like, if you had a chance to look like, let's say like if I was a brand new artist up and coming on the scene, you know, and you had any advice to me, like coming into the music industry, moving to LA and like experiencing all of this, what would that advice be?
Well, one is like, I mean, it depends on like whether you want to do the whole producing yourself thing or having other people produce your songs. One thing that I've noticed a lot is like, you need to find the right producer, because so many people work with people who just like, maybe, you can get the right vision at some point, but it's like, it takes a lot of time and it's not that fun. Like you want to find the person that it just clicks and you guys like the same stuff. Like they actually have the sound you're looking for. Like that is really big, finding the right producer. And same with like mixing engineers.
So what's your advice to find those people? If you have
Well, I mean,
Google.
Like
LinkedIn.
Good producers near me. For me, like, I mean, I wasn't looking for a producer.
Craigslist.
Yeah.
I'll produce your song. No, I'm just kidding.
I wonder what would happen if like we did something like that.
That's a YouTube video.
I would love to do that.
Right, like producing for Craigslist.
But it's like Fiverr sort of shit, except you like the entire time you're just like, by the way, like I can make anything, and it's just a guy just like with a blank like
That'd
background.
be interesting.
Yeah, and then I guess when you're choosing a mix engineer, an engineer, a producer for an artist to work with, how much of your relationship should be out of music versus within music? Do you feel like people who are friends make good music inherently? Do you think people who get along as human beings, maybe creatively, there will be a block? Like how much friendship of the personal aspect should you take into account when you're trying to choose a producer or a mix engineer or an engineer or just like your support crew as an artist, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, from purely the point of like, we want to have fun. We don't want our lives to be like annoying and hell. So like, I think that's pretty important. Like finding people that you really enjoy being with, because especially if you're gonna like make a lot of songs with them, make an album or go on tour, like you want to be.
You want to at least like them.
Let them enjoy their presence.
So if you had like amazing producer, but like kind of mid conversation, like you're not sure.
How's the weather?
Or like a dope ass dude, but his music is like as good as you could produce yourself.
Are you talking for me personally or for the advice of someone?
Now I'm just on you. Now I'm just curious.
If they can produce, like I'm pretty confident in my skills producing. Like I know that I can get something that I like, and so in my case, like I would probably choose the person who is fun to work with and at my skill level. Now, if I was if I didn't know how to produce, I would definitely choose.
I'd go with
I would definitely
the
choose
guy
the
who's
other
a
person.
dick. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, it's all a balance, right?
I think
Yeah.
that's a really cool sentiment that is like an awesome like way to think about it is like at the end of the day, like we are blessed because the industry that we're going into is really fun. And I think that there's a big part of the stress of releasing and promotion and all these things and setting up a stage and doing, like it turns into stress where overall I think the thing that is really cool to remind yourself is like, this is supposed to be really fun, And I think reminding yourself of the fun is like a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get so carried away and like, I need to do this, I need to do this. It's so stressful. And just like everything can become.
Yeah, and I think that's a
chore.
really, really awesome sentiment to end on. I think we're just about out of time. We have that camera there. We have that camera there.
Choose the camera.
Yeah, anything you want to plug, your Instagram, upcoming shows, songs, collabs. Yeah, choose your camera, choose
your OnlyFans,
your plug. Yeah, whatever
True,
you have.
that'd be smart.
He's got to think about his Instagram for a second.
Like, I
here.
feel like
What's my handle?
listen to the newest Roseflower radio episode featuring Lorenzo Wood on it.
they wouldn't know that unless they're listening.
They're gonna listen to the podcast and
Listen to it again.
Hit restart.
We've just found the hack.
We just doubled our streams.
Infinite streams. Now when they get to the end the second time, they're gonna go infinite streams,
Wow.
bro. But yeah,
No, but seriously, do you want to like do like an actual?
All right, for all the artists there, if you are looking for someone to mix your song, that'll make it sound good.
That's half the battle.
That'll make it sound less shit. Well, no, I don't imply that it was shit to begin with, but
damn,
This man cannot
this is the best ad reel
Yeah,
I
let's
have ever heard.
dude, actually put this on like an Instagram ad.
gonna promote E-I-E-I-O. All right. Do you want to just do your Instagram?
If you are looking for someone to mix your song, I can make songs, and I may be interested.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Lorenzo Wood Music.
There you go. Do you want to spell Lorenzo for everyone?
Do you want to spell Lorenzo, Finlay?
Watch this. Micah's the editor now. L-O-R-E-N-Z-O.
I want to let you know
Lorenzo.
I want to let you know, looking at that, your fingers pointed like above the screen. I can't see it.
He's gonna have to edit letters through this entire time, every point you've done in the video.
Whoa, then look at all this fire.
I'm about to cut all
Oh
of
my
this
god,
off.
the building is exploding.
Whoa. UFOs.
I'm cutting all of this out.
All right, well, Micah, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Micah W Music. That is it. I'm actually
Wait, are you actually Micah W Music?
yeah.
So we got Lorenzo W. Oh, I'm Lorenzo Wood Music. My Twitter is Lorenzo W Music. So we got the same W Music vibe.
Y'all are twinning.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. Did I interrupt you?
And my name is Finlay Matthias. You can find me on Instagram at Finlay Did It. You can find Roseflower Records on Instagram at Roseflower Records. On Twitter at Roseflower Records.
What?
On YouTube, youtube.com/Roseflower Records.
Wait, it's a / No way.
It might be a backslash.
That's what I was
don't fucking
asking.
know.
What's the difference between a / and a backslash?
Enlighten us.
Literally, it's always a / unless occasionally it's a backslash.
Oh.
But like, you never need to specify / because that's a slash. A backslash it's a slash but backwards. But it's always like when it's not
This man
backwards,
just
it's
said
forwards.
a / is forward, a backward / is backward.
Thank you so much for joining us. And what might have been the most chaotic episode of Roseflower Radio so far, and the first one
Wonderful.
of season 2 on
Welcome
the new
to new
set.
season, baby.
Lorenzo, thank you for welcoming in the new set.
Thanks so much for having
Thank you so
me.
much for listening, so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace.